All right, folks, here we are once again. Abomination Vaults, episode 40. We're on episode 40 now, you guys. That's pretty awesome. And we're going to pick up this session where we left off. As shown on the map, we're in a precarious situation for the companions. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, I've got Jesse here tonight. I've got Dizzy, and of course I got Rachel. Kyle will be missing this session tonight. He has to work. He's working late today. So we might see a new player bounce in tonight. Now we have a new player joining us. You'll probably see in the future, if not tonight. Very interesting character. Be a great addition to the group. Gonna be a fun character to see and play. So we'll introduce that character if and when it happens tonight. In the meantime, let's do our introductions. Let's get everybody going here. Introduce yourself, your character, a little as brief as you can. Althea, you're up first. What's going on, Althea?
Hey guys, it's Rachel. I'm playing Althea tonight. She is a gnome cleric. She's also trying desperately to get the heck out of here. And she's not exactly thrilled with her adventuring party at the moment, having seen them raise the dead. But that's another discussion for another time, because right now she just is afraid of what's going to happen if she stays and sticks around.
Yep, scary stuff. What's going on? Dark tidings await. That's what it is. Hint of what's to come. Dizzy, this is, what are you up to, 3 or 4 sessions with us now? What are you thinking? What's going on?
I think it's going very well. I play Alara, the Vampire Necromancer, who's currently watching this creature just annihilate the door that everybody else just watched close, and now she's trying to force the fear out of her head and focus now trying to keep everybody else alive.
Yeah, and that was just after you casted the animate dead spell on the skeleton. You got a skeleton right in front of you, kind of being a guardian or a bodyguard for you. And just then, this creature appears to the south of this chamber you just vacated. You're peering into it now through the doorway. Right down here, I think. If my ping works. Yeah, there it is. But yeah, scary stuff. And of course, Jesse, you're here with us too. Finally, not remotely, you're actually playing tonight. What's going on?
Yep. Well, I'm Jesse, and recovering from the plague. I'm finally back full healthy, as well as Sheppy. Sheppy took quite a beating, has been out for a while. Everyone knows that he is the sorcerer of fire, and he's wondering what happened to everybody. He's got to get back into action here. So we'll find out.
Yes, we will. And Sheppy is not with the companions at the moment. Yeah. But we're going to see where he is and what role he plays in this. And yeah, we'll do that right now while I refresh this. Yes. So, we got to do a recap. Who wants to do a recap for an extra hero point? Anybody? I could do it, but you guys, if you want your hero point, let's see a hand raising here. Anybody? A little quick recap. Nobody?
Pretty sure I did it last week.
How about you, Dizzy? You got any notes there? Take a shot at it if you want. If not,
I don't have any notes.
no, of course, no hero points for the companions tonight. Oh,
And I wasn't here, so
yep, you're out of it. You guys begin with 1 hero point, so give yourself 1 hero point. And that's it. And I'll recap for us. So, briefly, if I could even remember. Wow, no villain point for me. After a terrible demise of one of the companions, felled by some dark creature deep within the Abomination vaults, the companions made their escape. The surviving companions found themselves once again gathered at the Rowdy Rockfish, looking for their fellow companions. Where's the dwarf? We gotta find the dwarf and go back and at least retrieve the body of our fallen hero, Marshal, before it's too late. They did so. They found Arthurian, the dwarf, who has now joined the group, eager to get back into the gauntlight and see some action and reap vengeance on those vile creatures that would take out one more companion. Marshal was felled, suffering a grievous wound from some dark, undead creature that somehow had risen him, taking control of his body and his actions, and causing him to attack his friends, the companions. And that was when the companions basically said, sayonara, we're out of here. The companions regrouped, recovered, spent a night recovering, in fact, before they once again set out to look for their fallen companion, at least the body. The next morning they make their way back. Of course, Chapt was pretty much grievously wounded, and he was left behind to recover even more than the others. Althea left him behind at her place, Althea's abode. Comfortable little gnome alcove. And the 3 remaining companions went back in. However, Chapt woke up shortly thereafter and did actually try to find his companions and catch up with them. He didn't want to be left out of this. Why did Althea leave me sleeping? But he took advantage of the opportunity, the free time, to do a little shopping real quick before he made his way back to the gauntlight. He knows that's where they went. And he did so. And this is where we're going to pick up. Chapt,
go ahead.
it's about afternoon by the time you reach the outskirts of the upper levels of this ruins known as the Gauntlight. I need 2 things. Number 1, I need you to tell me your exploration activity. One of them is to hustle. In other words, you're booking it. You're moving twice as fast. You'll be able to catch up with your companions. Surely, that way. But it is risky. Could spring traps, be ambushed, all that kind of thing. Might stub a toe. Who knows? That's an option. You could decide to be a little bit stealthy and sneak your way back in. You know where they're going. They're not going to rush, so we'll take our time going through this. Or do you want to go at a normal pace? Or do you want to do something else? Give me an exploration activity as you make your way into the depths of the Gauntlet. Describe what you're doing.
He's going to be scouting as he's going, but he is going to halt. He's not going to wait. He's going to go as quick as he can.
All right, one or the other. You can't do both.
All right, he's just going to go for it then.
All right, so you're making your way in there as fast as you can. Okay. Give me a blind perception roll as you make your way into the lower levels. Familiar terrain. You've been here many times. And you are well rested, so you'll get your hit points back and all that. Focus points and slots. You had a good, long, healthy rest. Okay. You're making good time. You're passing through an area where you remember seeing Those little blue gremlins. They look like goblins, same size as goblins, but they were blue-skinned, diseased or something. You're not sure. Ah, those were gremlins. You see, occasionally, you see 1, 2, 4, maybe a half dozen bodies of ripped apart gremlins. Something had torn them, ripped them, taken the life right from them. Now, you're not spending any time here looking over the bodies. You're just zipping through, but you are taking note. That's unusual. Something must have attacked them. Wonder what happened to Scrong. Scrong, of course, is the leader of the gremlins. Something might have happened. You're not sure, but this is unusual. The bodies, you can tell, are relatively fresh. You know, they have been sitting here. They're not desiccated or anything like that. Maybe a day, tops. But you make your way on, correct? You're not stopping.
Correct. Nope.
Okay. You get down to that big library. Books. The smell of death and decay is starting to really pick up here when you get down into that main library. It's more intense than it was before. The smell of death and rot. Perhaps it's from bodies decaying. Bodies that you have felled. Who's to say? But you push on. You get to those lidded chambers, lidded by magical light, where you would set up a little headquarters of sorts, a little fallback safe zone, where your supplies that you had stashed there are now gone. You come to the doorway that was bashed through by that Volok creature. And you make your way down those steps. Now, we're going to leave you there. Wait a minute. Okay, one more roll. All right, so we're going to leave you there. Now,
Okay.
we're going to shift over to Alara and the others. Alara, you had just risen this skeleton creature from the bones that have been sprawled around this one chamber. Althea and Arthurian are behind you currently, and they're looking down some northern passage. Looks like it might have been some kind of secret door. They're looking through that. And just as you stand there in the opposite doorway, or the other doorway in the eastern wall, admiring the result of your animate spell, you hear a crash. A door crashes open in the chamber you had just vacated, to the south. And there standing is that horrifying sight of a creature whose flesh seems to be alive. You can see with your dark vision that it moves and it creeps. You can't see the outlines of a human face, but you see it is some type of humanoid of a sort. It wears clothing. The stench of death and rot hits your nostrils as soon as you lay eyes upon this abomination standing in that doorway. And at this stage, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our encounter tracker, and everybody that's in there is going to roll perception initiative to see what happens next. Okay, so you can open up your trackers. And let's see, I have more folks in here than should be. Go ahead and roll your die. Your initiative. And I'll roll for Arthurian.
Yeah, I'm in there 4 times.
I see that. I
What?
don't,
Yeah.
only see us three.
This happened to me a couple times when I was doing it too. I had to just redo it.
Yeah, you know what? I am going to do that. Let me end this encounter and start it over. I don't know why it did that. Laura had a 28, natural 20 on her perception roll, too. You could keep that if you want. I'll just put it in.
I'll keep it.
Yeah, I know you will. Yes, sir, indeedy. As long as Foundry's being good to me tonight, it seems to be acting up. I might have to... to reload somewhere else. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna have to do something here. Sorry, folks. It's one of those nights. And anyway, let me get all logged in here real quick. And in the meantime, what are you thinking, Althea, as you look down this corridor? Now, you recognize the corridor. You've been here before. And that's beyond the secret door, I mean. This is the corridor that leads to where you last saw Marshal.
Yes, just to recall from last time, was Althea and Arthurian were made aware of this current threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like we kind of shuffled into this room.
Yep.
Yeah. She's gonna book it.
All Althea knows at this point, and Arthurian, is that you've been looking in this chamber. You smell the cooking, and you're focused on that northern secret door. But all of a sudden, you hear behind you, definitely the sound of a door opening, and it sounds like it's that door you were listening to. There's a lot of doors in there, but you're guessing something just broke through one of those doors, and Alara looks quite alarmed. Alara's never seen this creature before. But if it's what you think it is, you don't know for sure. You're not sure. It could be Volek.
Well, regardless, she's still going to just try to push forward. Everything we've encountered in this godforsaken place has been out to kill us. Definitely going to go through. Even if it's Ronaldo for whatever reason, I'm still going to keep running.
You're going to book it. We're getting out of here already. Screw this.
I'd rather live to fight another day. When we faced, everything we've faced so far has been, we've barely gotten by.
And Arthurian, just to clarify here, he does have his axe out at this point. Let me write that down so I know, because I'll be playing him tonight. He's like your only fighter at the moment. Another thing I should point out, and I don't know if you guys are overlooking this. I don't know if you are. Maybe it's nothing. But there is a skeleton on the floor. It's on the map, actually. You can see it right near Arthurian. And it's got an apron on it. And there's this skeleton there. I don't think anybody's really paid much attention to it.
When we first entered that room, I did, and Sheppy was the one looking at the wall of peculiar utensils.
Many peculiars. The wall of many peculiars.
Yes.
All right, let's see. As soon as I get loaded, we'll find out what's next. I do have your scores. Do you want to keep that, Alara? I think you said yes. You want that nice hefty 28 initiative? Okay, Althea, I'll keep yours too. 22.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let me get back over here. And we'll start a new encounter. You guys can't put your own initiative value in, can you? You have to roll it.
Yeah, pretty sure we have to roll it.
All right, let me do Althea's here. Okay, Alara, you got a 28. Althea got a 22. Althea, I'll roll. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, finally.
Phew.
Wasn't good.
It had me muted and muted on my mic in Discord for some reason. I don't know why that happened. I didn't click it. But anyway, give me a moment here. I had to use a different browser. I'm telling you, when it's really cold, my internet sucks. Check the stream. Yeah, that's all good. Bear with us, folks. Say something, Jess, to make sure it's picking up.
Hello?
That's good. Excellent.
Yep, I'm here.
Try this again. All right. Volume is way up. Turn that down. All right. I think it's okay now. All right, let's open up this combat tracker once again. Okay, we've got everybody in there. I rolled for Arthurian. Now let's roll this creature that's entering the fray and scaring folks. Should be invisible. Okay, and we'll begin. Now, Sheppy, you're not in there right now. I'll tell you when. It's based on a few factors. So let me shut your door. Actually, you're not on this map, are you? You're not.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Okay, let me see. You are on this map, though, right? Where are you? Yeah, you are. Your token is on the map. You should be able to see from it. Okay, it's a hallway. Do you see it? All right, but you are on the map.
I see it. I see it.
Okay, that's where you are currently. You're not in the initiative just yet. All
I
right.
gotcha.
All right, I think we're good. All right. Ah, almost. I got to capture the dice. 1 second, let me capture the dice because I'm using a different browser. Boom, should be there. All right, there it is. Okay, looks good enough. All right. Laura, guess what? You're up first. What do you want to do? You have 3 actions. Now, if you want to you'll have to sustain your skeleton. So the first thing you want to do is use the sustain action to keep it standing. And then you have 2 actions left. So let me unpause the game. What would you like to do?
Alright, going to cast Sustain
Okay.
right off the bat.
All right. That's 1 action. You have 2 more actions.
She's gonna order her minion to move at least 5 feet down. Cast Sustain, ordered it. I only have 1 more action.
Well, finish with it. It has two actions.
Mhm.
So you moved. That was one action. Now what? Is that it?
She's going to order it to go on guard.
Okay, so it's gonna wait for the. It's just gonna stand there essentially. If it comes close, it'll attack. Okay.
And then she is going to. The door's closed, so
Well, it's open. You
it
have.
is open. Okay.
Yep. If you close that, do you want to close it? That'll be an action.
She's going to step outside with her minion.
Okay. Go ahead.
It says attempted token collides at least one wall.
Try it now.
Nope, still won't let me.
All right. Let me put you out there. Okay. There's 5 feet.
Alright, so she's already. So now I believe she has one more action.
Now that is her action. She sustained. She spent one to order her minion. And she has one action left. That is to move. Now, if you want to continue moving, you can do so up to your movement rate, your stride. So far, you moved 5 feet. If you want to move any further, that's it. You're done for the turn.
And she's going to stand there and guard the door.
Okay. All right. Standing there looking menacing, door is wide open. Althea, you see your new compatriot, Alara, step back into the room whence the sound came from. You're up. What do you do?
Oh boy. Well, Althea's gonna scream back towards Alara. What are you doing? You don't head towards the noise. We need to find some sort of way out. We've traveled this way before, as long as things haven't changed. It should be relatively clear. I'm gonna head down and kind of pave a way. Don't lose sight of us. She's gonna go. All right, so 5.
Heading down deep into the cavern.
Come on, Binley. Come on. Don't get lost.
Okay.
I'm going to move up here, and then I'm going to listen for anything other than the sounds of, dripping water or cave noise, anything that would cause me to be of any sort of alarm.
Okay, blind perception roll. You can hear the drip of water off the walls ahead. It is quite damp in here. You do remember it was kind of wet and muddy, in fact, in this chamber up ahead. And you can see into the chamber, but you see no movement. But you do hear the dripping of water off the walls. That's about it. You have one more action. I'll assume Binley is in your pocket, so you don't have to use a action to get him to move. He's in your pocket.
Actually, you know what? I will do that. I'll command him. He will be out of my pocket.
Okay.
And he'll use his actions to scurry along.
Okay. Scout ahead, Binley. Take a look around. No? He's just sticking with you?
Yeah, he'll just stick with me.
Okay. You're done? Arthurian is next. He holds tight his big axe with both hands. He looks confused for a moment. He looks back behind him and sees Alara disappear, standing at the doorway, not disappearing. You, Althea, have disappeared, heading headlong all by yourself into the darkness. We can't leave her behind. Alara, come! Shut the door behind you. Whatever's there, leave it. We'll sneak through this passageway. Come on! And he's going to rush forward up to the passage and stand and wait. He is going to spend an action. He's going to spend an action to move, and then he's going to ready an action. Cost him 2 actions to get 1 action as a reaction, which is to shut the door. So he's waiting for you. You're the trigger. Pass through the door, and he's going to shut it. That's what he instructs to you. Next, going back to Alara, back in the chamber, surrounded with darkness. Your eyes have adjusted. You see the grays and blacks of the dark vision. You stand there alone. Behind you, you hear Althea and the dwarf disappear from sight in that little passageway they seem to have found. But more to the south of this chamber, more menacing, is this creature that appears standing in the doorway. And once again, I'm going to show everybody this creature. This is exactly what you see. And you can hear its flesh begin to move, Alara. And it begins to close on you. Slowly, its feet thump, 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 dragging wet across the stone floor. It approaches the skeleton. And it begins to raise its hand to strike at this bony creation of yours, Alara. It is going to attack, and it's a public roll. It's a 25. Its armor class is 16. It is not a critical hit. It's going to roll damage against this creature, doing bludgeoning
Doesn't this go
damage.
get a chance to attack?
No. It only has 2 actions. It used 1 to move, and the other action, it just didn't have enough to do anything else. Did it roll damage? Let me do it the old-fashioned way. All right, it's not rolling damage for me. Darn it. All right, damage. Let's see. I'll do it manually. His damage button is missing from the character sheet. What's up with that?
That's odd.
It's not there. It's not on the character. It has critical damage. When I go to roll damage on the HUD, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I guess he does no damage then.
Yeah, what's up with that? Let me.
Nope, you can only do critical damage. Sorry.
Yep, too bad.
Well, let me find him. Let's see what he does. All right, there it is. All right. Man, I gotta break out my dice. Oh no! I like my digital dice. Okay. 14 points. 14 points of piercing damage. His claws are they're actually like claws. They're tendrils in his hands. So, yeah. 14 points of piercing damage. Maybe
Skeletons have resistance to piercing.
wait a minute, maybe I'm reading this wrong. This is it looks like he doesn't actually do normal damage. Any damage he does with this attack is going to be automatically persistent piercing damage, which I got a 14 on. So yeah, now it rolled. It says 20, but we're going to make it 14. So let me drag that onto Alara, or the skeleton. Actually, no, forget it, because that totally destroys the skeleton. That's weird. All right, so the creature, these tendrils from this creature's hands just wrap around the bones and tear left and right, and the skull actually falls to the ground, and the bones are just destroyed in front of you, Alara. There's nothing left. They're scattered in front of you. That's its second action. And I don't think it has reach, so it's going to slowly move towards you and raise its tendrily hands once again in your direction. And that's where it's going to end. Now, let me roll a dice here. Did you ever see that before, Rachel? A creature that doesn't have a normal attack, it's just automatically persistent damage. If it
Usually,
hits.
whenever I credited a creature like that, it was usually higher tiered.
It says damage, persistent damage, piercing, blah, 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 blah. And then it has one for critical damage, and that's also piercing, and it's the same thing. So it only does persistent damage. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so that's why that didn't work. Sheppy, you get to the foot of the steps just in time to hear screams and voices. You hear the crashing of something on the other side of this door. I want you to roll your perception for initiative. Let me put you in the combat tracker first. You're just behind this door. All right, so go ahead and roll your initiative. All right, where are you? Okay. So in round 2, you will be going. We're going to go to round 2. Now, Laura, you're up again. You just saw this creature slowly advance towards you and rip apart your minion, and it's now right in front of you, about to strike. You have 3 actions.
She's gonna cast Calm Emotion.
Put that in the chat. Let's see what this is. You forcibly attempt to calm a creature in the area, soothing them into a non-violent state. Each creature must attempt a will save. What is the range? 120 feet. Area, 10-foot burst. Takes 2 actions. It's sustained for up to a minute, so you can keep this going if you so choose. All right, so 2 actions. And I suppose you just want it on this creature. So he's going to attempt to make a save. DC 19. Let me make this blind. Okay. Let's see what happens. You attempt to calm his mind, if such can be attempted. Somatic and verbal. As your hands weave and you begin to chant these words that would normally soothe those around you, this seems to have no effect on this creature whatsoever. His arms continue to rise high above you, as if to strike. You have 1 action remaining. What do you do?
Casting Ray of Enfeeblement.
Okay, put that in the chat. A ray that saps the foe's strength flashes from your hands. Attempt a ranged spell attack against the target. He is within range. One target. Range is 30. Yeah, make your attack. You can click the button in the chat. There's an attack button there. The first one says attack. And that takes 2 actions. Wait a minute. Can you do that? Took 2 actions.
Yeah, that's too many actions.
No, you can't actually cast that. All right, try something else. Get 1 action. Now, the door next to you is open. You could slide through and make good an escape with a stride action. I think you got a decent movement. While it's ready to strike you. It's up to you. It's up to you. You try and intimidate him. I don't know. You punch him. Do you have a weapon out?
No.
Okay. You do have your bite, your fangs. You could sink them into the sickly flesh if you choose. Might not be wise. Quickly, make a choice.
Look between the creature and the door. She's gonna close her eyes, turn towards the door, grab it, and close it.
Are you moving through the door into the room, or are you...
She's staying in the room with the creature and she's closing it.
Okay. The door is closed. Okay. You're done. We're going to go to Althea. You hear a door behind you in the distance slam. You see Arthurian waiting patiently at the doorway behind you. You have 3 actions. Sheppy, you're up next. What is happening?
Althea's getting nervous. She hasn't seen anybody turn the corner. Although she can slightly see Arthurian, she's wondering where Alara is and what that noise was. And she's trying to rationalize it and like, oh, she closed the door. She's on her way. That's got to be it. I don't see her because there's just the angling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to continue down the tunnel. And she'll shout as well. Just to give Arthurian some idea of where she's going. I'm traveling further in. Don't wait too long. We have to keep moving. We have to shake this off of our tail. I'll command my buddy here to be on the same space as me, but we're just kind of in the corner, and I'm going to try to hide.
How many actions did you use so far? 1 to move?
So technically 1, I can move, then hide, and then my last action is to command, and then have Binley use his 2 actions to come up to the same space as me.
As soon as you step into the chamber, you see movement overhead. To the northwest, opposite to where you're standing, somewhere high above this 12-foot high ceiling, you see something standing on the ledge. It's in the shadows. It's almost camouflaged within. What do you do? Can't clearly make it out, but it looks human-sized. It looks as if it might be hiding.
Well, I'm not going to engage it because I just used all my actions to get to where I am, the few feet that I moved. And my other action was to hide.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth roll, blind. As you pay no heed to what else might be in this chamber.
She'll definitely keep her eyes on it now that she's noticed it.
Okay, Sheppy. You're next. Now,
Alright, I'm going to open the door.
all right, you open the door and you see a very familiar chamber. Again, your dark vision sees clearly this chamber you've been in before. You remember ghosts in the southeast corner in that one chamber, and there you ran for your life. Don't go in there, there's a poltergeist. You remember that. You remember to the south, that's where Volok had shown himself. But more to your attention is to the west. You see Volok once again, and he seems about to strike deep into this hooded character that seems familiar to you, but you can't really make it out. Somebody is up ahead and about to be attacked by Volok, whose attention is completely on this persona. Does not see you as you creak open the door. You have 3 actions.
All right. Alara! Oh, step back! Don't fight that thing! It's evil, it'll kill you! And then he's going to cast hydraulic push on the Volok.
All right, you're taking a guess that that's Alara, because I didn't say you could recognize her. But go ahead. Hydraulic push. You call forth a powerful blast of pressurized water. Yeah, wash him down. That's the old trick. Bludgeons the target and knocks it back. Make a ranged spell attack roll.
This is steam.
Okay, you got a 15. That is a
I'll
failure.
hero point that.
Okay.
I'll hero point it.
You have 1 hero point. It is now gone.
Oh well.
13. So it comes out, the steam begins to appear, and it seems to fizzle out before it really gets close enough to the target, this Volok character. You failed, and that is 2 actions, I believe. You're done. We're going to go.
I got one more.
Well, you opened the door, correct? That was 1 action. 2 more
I
actions.
have my focus spell.
Which
1 action.
you spent all 3 of your actions. You're done.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
It's okay. You got another turn coming up. We're going to go up to Arthurian, who still stands there. Oh. He's got both of them disappeared, and he's stuck in the middle. He didn't know what to do. All right, let's consult the Oracle. Sorry, Kyle. I don't know what to do here. Blasted wench! He steps back into the corridor, or back into the chamber. He goes up to the door, so he just spent a stride action. And he opens the door. He also has dark vision, and he can see it plain as day. What are you doing, woman? And he's going to attempt to grab hold of you and throw you into the chamber. He doesn't see you, Sheppy. So he's going to make an athletics check to pull you in. Let's make this public. And that's going to be against a DC equal to you. I assume you're going to kind of resist. Yes or no? Do you resist?
Yep, I resist.
All right. You easily dodge his grab completely. Well, you know what? He does have a hero point. He's gonna do that. He's gonna use a hero point to re-roll that athletics roll. Oh, he gets a 3. That does not succeed. He fails. All right, so he's done. We're going to go to the creature. Is the creature invisible, you two? You can see him, right?
I can see him.
Okay. All right, he's going to lay into you with these tendrils once again. This will be his first attack for his turn. Public, it's going to be a 35. That is going to be a critical success, critical hit on you. You're going to take critical damage. Let's see if it rolls. I don't think it will. I think I have to click this button here. Yeah, there we go. 44 points.
Oh God, she's all Therian hears is just this blood curdling scream from her before she hits the ground.
44 points of persistent damage, piercing. These tendrils pierce your flesh, through your chest even, through your neck. You begin to attempt to scream, but instead this ichor starts to come out of your mouth. A sickening sound can be heard, Sheppy, Arthurian, from Alara. Her fangs begin to bare as her mouth goes wide from the pain and agony. This is persistent damage. It will continue to affect you every turn. But in the meantime, you are at 0. You are at dying 2. Okay? And every turn you're going to take that persistent damage.
Gotcha.
You do have a hero point? Yes or no?
I believe she does.
Okay. That was his first attack. But since you have collapsed to the ground, it pulls the tendrils from your flesh, and it looks to the left and sees the dwarf. And it's going to attempt to intimidate the dwarf. You will lay down and you will serve, you vile dwarf. Pointing in the direction of Arthurian. Arthurian's will DC is enough. I'm not sure he has bravery, or if that even applies, but is enough. He resists the beckoning of this creature. The creature has one more turn. As the it's going to reach down and grab and wrap its tendrils around your ankles and your leg, Alara. And with one quick motion, it throws you across the room. Your body is hurled over the table and lands right here in just a crumpled mess. Whatever you were holding in your hands remains where you stood. You are currently over there, unconscious and dying. You don't take any additional damage from this, but you are no longer there. Next, we're going to go to round 3. And
Did Arthurian go? I think you skipped him.
no, he went.
Or no, he tried to grab her. Never mind.
Yes. Let's go back to Althea. You hear voices and crashing around, the sound of battle behind you, Althea, but you also see something above you, and you hear movement from above you. There, you see jumping down from the ledge. Within the light, clearly seen, it spends an action falling forward onto the ground. You see what was your friend, Marshal, before you. In his hand, he holds his sword. He lets out a horrifying hiss as he eyes you. You'll die, little one, like me. He advances towards you with his second action, and his blade rises. He sees you clearly, Althea. There is no hiding from that which is dead. He strikes with his saber, his dark blade. Now, explain to me, you're hiding. I should have asked you this earlier. How are you hiding? Now, there's some little enclaves to kind of push yourself in and hide yourself and become part of the wall, but there's no real proper hiding spot that would give you cover. But is there anything unusual about how you're doing this? You are a gnome, after all.
Well, I am trying to just stay low and as close to the wall. Just trying to make myself make as little noise as possible.
Rub a little mud on your skin.
Excuse me?
You didn't hear that.
She's got like little dirt marks on her cheeks.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna count this as a concealment roll on his part. He passes it. Well, let's see if he did actually. He actually rolled a 17. So yeah, he passed that. Now we'll do his attack roll. So I will give you the concealment in this case. For his attack. Not hidden, but concealment, because he did spot you. 31. I don't think that's critical damage.
It is critical damage.
It's critical.
Because my AC is 17.
Critical damage. Your once friend strikes true, and the blade cuts into your flesh. You can take 22 points of slashing damage from this fiend. And it's done. I'm going to go to Alara. Now, before you go, Alara, let me move you in initiative. Let's see. Where should you be? All the way down here, actually. So it's not actually your turn yet. Okay, so instead, we're going to go to Althea. Okay, you're up, Althea. You just took this cut from this blade from Arthurian. He does look sickly. He looks damaged. You can see the wounds from previous fighting, the gashes on his body, but his flesh is white. His eyes are blackened. You see nothing within them. They're sunken. But it's definitely Marshal. You're up.
I will cast Sanctuary.
Okay, they have to make a will save to attack you. Good move. All right, it takes 2 actions. It does have the verbal and somatic. Okay. All right.
And although I would like to heal, because if he hits me one more time, I'm dead, I think I might run. And Althea's not going to run backwards because she does not want to be in a death sandwich. So she will go in the direction that is most familiar to her. Although maybe she could just run past everything. But she doesn't know what it looks like down there. And neither do I. Because I don't see it. I don't know. Would she run back to her friends for help?
Could roll the dice.
Did we go down here? That leads downwards, right? Yeah, we didn't go any place.
We might have heard Chapt yelling to Alara.
There was like 2 closed doors between her and Sheppy.
True.
Yeah, I don't think they, other than like this one chamber here, I don't think they did too much scouting over there. So she doesn't want to run into something she's not familiar with. But she's gonna have to, and unfortunately, Binley's probably gonna die. I believe that's 25 feet. It's kind of hard to measure in the windy corridor.
You gotta keep adding it every time you click it. Oh.
But that is the end of my turn.
All right, Alara. Well, we got 3 18s in here. So we'll do you first. Now, you're at dying 2. You're going to have to make a flat check. DC is going to be 12. At the end of this, you will take some persistent damage.
All right, flat 20.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can use your hero point.
If you have any hero points, you could spend them all to stabilize right now, instantly. You don't have to roll.
I'll use the hero point.
All right, so no roll necessary. Take away your dying condition. You are wounded 1. And you have 0 hit points. But you remain unconscious. You're just laying there.
Okay.
Now I want you to make another flat check to recover from the... Well, first of all, you're going to take damage. All right. Let's see what that was. All right, I got it. Let me roll this manually. You take 21 points of damage at the end of your turn.
Okay. All right, that's going to put you at dying 2. Okay.
Once again, as you're just bleeding out. Now, I need you to make a DC 15 flat check for the bleeding to stop. This is persistent damage. It's a DC 15.
And you said a flat 20?
Mm-hmm. Need a 15 or greater for the bleeding to stop. Okay. So it remains. Gonna go to Sheppy. Brutal.
Still roll a critical. Oh.
What was that 46 there?
That was the persistent damage that she just took.
I rolled it for her, but it looks like it did it anyway. It doubled it too.
Yeah.
What does it
I
count?
think that's right.
Does it count it critical every time? Is that what it's doing? Because it was critical damage the first time it hit, and with persistent damage, you take that same roll. You have to roll it again every turn. Now, is it doubling it because it was originally a critical?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Holy smokes. Well, you're still well, I'm not sure if that technically means she's critted again and goes to dying 2, plus her wounded, so she's dying 3.
Oh, fuck.
I'll keep it at dying 2. I'll show mercy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much to be thankful about. It's dying 2. So it puts you at dying 1. I'll let you off the hook for that, and then the wounded 1 adds 1 to that, so you're dying 2. All right, so we'll go with that. And you're no hero points. Things are not looking good. That's going to happen again at the end of your next turn. So until that bleeding is stopped, something has to stop the persistent damage. Otherwise, even if you get magical healing, you're still going to take that damage. That has to be stopped. Okay? So you guys got to think about that one. Keep in mind you're a Dhampir. Anyway, Sheppy, you are next. You got three actions. What is happening?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Move to here. Is there a door?
You're running away? That's the level above.
Hold on.
If you want to
Let me-
leave
Let me
this.
rethink here.
Yeah.
All right, I can see Arthurian there. I can't leave him. I'm gonna put my flaming sphere in Bullock Square.
Okay, put it in the chat. Okay, a flaming ball appears, moving into the square, moving into the space occupied by Volok. He tries to get out of the way, but he is unsuccessful. He critically fails, in fact. What specialness happens with that?
Double damage.
Is that what it is? Double damage?
I believe.
Sphere does 3d6 fire damage to each creature in the square when it first appears. Each creature must attempt a basic reflex save. It critically failed, so yeah, it's going to take double damage. So whatever you roll, it's going to be doubled. He just trips up on this little ball of fire. It catches and ignites. It must be the oils on its flesh.
28.
28 total?
Yep.
28 doubled. All right, he's going to take some fire damage. Let's open up his sheet here and see if anything special is going to kick in. 28, that's pretty good. Let's see. Now, let's go back to your spell. Cast on duration, sustain one of my components first. It's not an area. It's not an area effect, is it? No.
No,
It's literally just the
I
ball.
don't think so. No, it's just his square.
All right. Okay. All right. What'd you get? 28?
28.
All right. 28 fire damage. Ah! So just he ignites briefly, just catches on fire, and he starts to back off a little bit, and he starts to try and kick off the fire and the flames. They seem to be catching on him, like as if it was the oil itself on his flesh. Something really ignited him there, and he reels in pain. All right, so that was 2 actions.
I'll use my 1 action focus spell, Elemental Toss.
Elemental
Throw
toss.
a mini fireball at him.
Yes, you do. Go ahead and make a spell attack roll.
20.
That is a miss. The ball just explodes in the wall behind him and dissipates.
Okay, he's done.
Okay, Arthurian is up next. Boy, Arthurian really doesn't know what to do now. He's totally confused. He saw Laura get tossed across the room. He's standing there. He's going to re-grip his axe with both hands since he opened the door before. And he is going to have at this creature. How about this, matey? And he takes a big, long swing with his axe from around the corner of the doorway. It's going to be tight, but he's going to make the attack. No, not Tendril. That's the wrong character. Click on Arthurian with his battle axe. Let's see if he could nail this big fleshy creature. He does. He just manages to hit this Volok. And he's going to roll normal damage. Let's see what he gets. 6. Okay. However, as the blade cuts into him, suddenly the flesh seems like it almost just reconnects itself, hiding any wound that might have been there. Laughter breaks out from the creature. Arthurian recovers his axe and once again comes down upon him. Take an overhead! And he comes down on top of him and misses horribly. He dodges just out of the way. Almost catches fire again because the ball is floating there. And he's got one more action, so he failed with that attack. Althea, come, quick! And he's going to step into the room. No. Yeah, he's going to step into the room and ready another attack. He's done. It is the creature's turn. It is Volok's turn. Let me make a check for him to see if he spots you, Sheppy. You're not really being too stealthy, so I'm just going to give him a simple DC on this to see if he's noticing you are the source of this magic and flames that's coming in the direction. See if he took the time to notice. I'm going to use a simple DC here. And he sees it. He sees you, Sheppy, out of the corner of his eye. So he is alerted to that. Now, it's Volok's turn. However, just before his turn, there is something I missed here. Yes, just before his turn, something happens. As Arthurian steps into the room with his axe ready, suddenly on the eastern portion of the wall, you catch eye of this, Sheppy. You can see underneath the door of the furthest door on the east wall, down here, you see a strange glow of green begin to get larger and larger and larger, and suddenly you see this ribbon appear on the floor at that door, and it begins to hover, rising in front of the door. It's that familiar ribbon shape you've seen before. It's not making any noise. It's just appearing, and it's glowing. This was the ribbon that you saw much earlier on that was actually tracing words and letters to words. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I haven't forgotten.
That's what you see rise up on the floor. And suddenly there is this boom, this explosion of green light that fills the chamber. Now, Althea, you can't see this. Arthurian definitely sees it. Lara, you see nothing but blackness. There is this explosion of green light that fills the room just briefly for a few seconds. And it's at that point the creature begins to back off. He moves to the door and he begins muttering something in some dark language none of you understand. And it stops, it pauses in front of the door that it entered, and it looks at the green light. It is you, vile Otari, again. I shall slay you as well. Volok is done. We're going to go to Old Friend. Althea, you hear footsteps coming from the corridor that you ran from. There, coming with sight, you see him. You see your friend Marshal approaching to you, and again it sees you and it hisses. And it begins to wave its blade back and forth. You are Althea. I shall have you, Althea. You shall join us all. What is your will DC?
22.
You are frightened 1. As he calls to you, you begin to shake to your core.
Would that be considered a hostile action? That's right. Frightened.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
No, because I've casted Sanctuary, that's why. And just the
Ah.
wording says if the target uses a Oh, no, that's if I use a hostile action. My bad.
Well, let's look at it again. Put it back in there because I think you might be onto something. Let me see it again.
It seems like it's only if it's an attack.
You ward a creature with protective energy that deters enemy attacks. Creatures attempting to attack the target must attempt a will save each time. So he would have to attempt a will save to be able to attack you. If the target uses a hostile action... Oh, if the target...
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Uses a hostile action, the spell ends. Okay, so it just has to make saves whenever it attacks you. Creatures attempting to attack the target must attempt a will save. Well, he attempted to intimidate. Does that have... I don't know. That's curious. Demoralize. It's auditory, concentrate, emotion, and mental. And it takes an action.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't consider that one an attack, and...
No.
Yeah.
And, okay, so that was that. Its turn is done as it tries to put fear in you, which it did successfully. You are going to be frightened 1. So put that on your token. You begin to shake. It's the end of the world, Althea. Your turn is next, Althea. Now that frighten will go away at the end of your turn.
I do have a question. Underneath these doors and this trap door, is there space underneath the doors?
For Binley?
For Benley. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, that's possible, yes.
Okay.
He'll have to make a athletics check to squeeze, but yeah. Simple DC. Mice can really flatten out.
Okay, I am going to continue running. Technically, I'm in the same square as Arthurian.
Okay.
Practically run right into him as soon as I'm like getting into this room, and just I scan it extremely quickly just to assess what's going on. I've missed a lot. Why is Alara unconscious on the ground? We have to keep going. So I can stand right here, even though there's a chair there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Alright, so I make 2 movements, and I'm going to grab Alara.
Okay, so you got a hold of her, so you could drag her in the next turn? Is that the intention?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, I rolled for Arthurian. I forgot to roll this, but he had an attack of opportunity against Volek, and he failed to hit. So he did actually make his attack of opportunity as he backed away. All right, Althea's done. She's grabbed hold of the fallen Alara. If you attempt to pull her and drag her along, there'll be some athletic checks to do so. You'll be moving at least half rate. She's heavy. Alara, you have to make a recovery roll to stabilize, after which you will take persistent damage, after which you will make a flat check to stop that persistent damage. But first, your recovery roll.
Okay.
You need a 12, I believe. Oh. 8. You are now dying 3. Now, again, I'm not going to assume this is a critical. I think technically this is a critical amount of damage, but I'm not going to. I'm being merciful. I'm going to roll the standard damage.
Question. If you're dying and you take damage, doesn't it increase your dying condition?
I was just thinking of that. This might actually kill you. Because once you're at dying, you're at 0 hit points. You really don't lose anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which also begs the question, does like persistent damage continue past death? Or once you hit dying condition?
I don't know. I would say it does, because you're not going to stop bleeding. I mean, you're not dead until you're dead. So the damage would still apply. So that kind of sounds like, boy, if you've got persistent damage and you're dying, you're probably going to die very quickly. Which is this situation here.
But
I'll have to look this up. I want to get it right. So I don't want to just whiff past this. You were saying, Laura?
I was gonna say it sounds like it would make sense if she's constantly taking damage. It would up the dying.
So go to page 621. There's multiple. Oh wait, no, that's multiple persistent damage conditions. But it sounds like it does.
So what we'll do, because I'm not going to bog us down looking up the rules now. It's my fault for not being up on this as much as I should. I'm going to move this on. So what you're going to do, we're going to keep you at dying 3. You have one more opportunity to save this. However, I'm going to have you make another DC 15 to stop the bleeding, unless you already rolled that. I don't think you did. Or did you?
The first one you told me to roll, I rolled an 8.
Yeah.
Which upped it to dying 3. Do you want me to roll another one?
All right. This other one is going to see if you stop the persistent damage. You need
Okay.
you need a 15 or higher. This is important. Nope. So, yeah, this is effectively probably going to kill your character. But I'm gonna allow you another roll for this. All right. Anyway, so you're right at death's door. It all comes down to what everyone else does.
Okay.
And what you roll. So be prepared for that.
I
Sheppy,
am.
Sheppy, you are up next. And then Arthurian. Yeah, I think I must have persistent damage always on, because as soon as I went to another person in the initiative, it just gave you 30 more points of damage.
Oh yeah, if you have the thing on
I do.
Foundry, it like when you're on the tracker, it automatically rolls the damage.
Yeah, it's double.
And then it has the button where you click recovery check. And if you click that, then it rolls it for you.
Cool.
All right, Sheppy's going to sustain his flaming sphere and
Okay.
move it to Volk Square.
Oh, that's. Oh, okay. Move it to Volok Square, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay.
Move up to 30.
Okay.
So go ahead and make the DC.
It does hit a
20.
It does hit a cockroach on the way through. It's got to make a savings throw. Hold on. It ignites. But
The
anyway.
cockroach is gonna survive. Ooh.
Yeah, it survived.
Dang.
All right, we'll say that was the cockroach.
I told you cockroaches just don't die.
All right, now
They don't. Wow.
let's roll for Volok. Ooh, wow.
Critical fail again.
I had a critical success for the cockroach and a critical fail for
What are the
Volok.
chances?
Wow, Volok.
We needed that.
Living on the
He just
edge.
took 24 points of flaming sphere damage.
How much?
24.
24. And this will get through. This is fire damage. Wow. Although this is physical damage, which he has a thing about, but that's okay. He still stands, but he is reeling. He almost falls to one knee. He leans against the doorway behind him and almost falls back into the room, but he grabs himself at the last second. He's in pain. He looks close, Sheppy, close.
All right, for his last action. Well, he has 2 actions left.
I think
He's
so.
gonna cast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, sustain is an action all of its own. That doesn't. So we've been through this so many times. So the spell effect, that rolling it around to a new square, does that happen for free, or is that part of the
No, it's
sustain?
Well, it's part of the sustain action to move it.
Okay, so I got 2 actions left. Okay.
Yep.
That's
I'm going to cast the 2 action Scorching Ray.
Oh no. Make an attack roll, 2 action. Oh no. He's going to have cover. Quite a bit, actually. If you want to do it, go for it. Nope, it misses. Althea, the table, the lamps, everything is in the way, and it just shoots its way across the room and crashes well high above where he's standing.
Yep, you're done.
You are done. We're going to go to Arthurian, the ever-slow dwarf. He grits his teeth, looks back towards Althea, who ran past him. He looks back towards Volok. That's it. I'm done with this. He runs to get at this Volok. He's going to stride. Well, let me look real quick and see if he has anything special here. Well, he does have bravery. Dueling parry. Okay. So he's going to lay into him with his double gripped battle axe once again and try and cut him in half. 25. That is, sadly, just enough to hit him and cut him down. No roll necessary. Because he only had 1 hit point. Sheppy, describe how Arthurian cuts down this beast. What does it look like to you? You see your friend, the dwarf, rush towards him with his axe in hand and way into him.
Arthurian, in a blind rage, sees Volok on his last stand there and just charges him and just bulls into him with his shoulder and then just raises his axe and just comes right down on its fleshy, moving head and just splits it, and it just explodes into a bunch of maggots all over the floor.
Yes. Actually, I do have to roll damage for this. Just before he explodes into maggots and all that good stuff. I do actually have to roll this. Wasn't critical. Let me roll it real quick. All right. Volok is defeated. All right. So, as Volok collapses to the ground, cut in pieces from the dwarf, you hear crashing in the room behind Arthurian. And there, crossing the portal, Sheppy, you see it. You see Marshal. But it's different. This is an abomination version of your friend standing before you. Eyes sunken black. It's undeath personified. And it stops, and it peers left and right. It sees the dwarf, and it looks over, and it sees Althea. And it begins to move towards Althea, slowly and cautiously. And begins to raise its sword as if to strike Althea while her back is turned as Althea reaches towards Alara. You see this clearly, Sheppy. Then we're going to go to round 5. And that's what he did in top of round 5, sorry. Next is Althea. I forgot again. Right before Volok went down, you see that green glowing wisp suddenly sway back and forth. And for a moment, everybody make a blind perception roll, except Alara. I need a blind perception roll, including from Arthurian.
Oh, don't forget to, add +1 to mine, because I forgot I wasn't frightened anymore.
You all see this, including Arthurian. You see that as this glow dissipated and it just sat there, it began dancing once again, making letters. And although this creature is coming at you and you're all occupied, I would say, Althea, you make out this specifically. But while you were reaching at her and you were looking in the direction of the glow, you caught a few letters. It was forming letters. But you couldn't see it all. What you did catch, however, was await. But there was other letters and other words, but you didn't get them all. But the one that you caught was the word await. And then suddenly, you all see this as the glow begins to fade and it goes towards the floor, and back from whence it came, it disappears underneath the door. Blackness returns. And it was at that stage that old friend Marshal entered the chamber and is about to strike Althea. Althea, you have 3 actions. That word is in your mind. At the last minute, you turn about to see this abomination, this Marshal, right behind you about to strike at you. What do? You do have Elara grabbed.
I technically have one hand free.
You do.
So I will cast a spell, perhaps. Yeah, I'll do a 2-action heal on this guy. And she'll scream out, "I watched you die!"
All right, so you're harming him. Go ahead.
Correct. So. Oh, I sent. Hold on. And then
What's wrong with you? What are you doing?
there we go.
All right, heal. All right, so undead have to make a basic savings throw. You rolled a 25.
Mm-hmm. Technically, that should have been 2d10s, so I don't know why it was rolling d8s.
Oh, that's your healing.
But
That's how much healing you did. All right. So it'd be 2d10 plus 2 times 8. 2.
I don't know why it times 8. I just clicked on the 2-action. Maybe it's something's not right.
You rolled a 2 and a 7. I know that.
So how do I get in my spell book?
All right, the spell has a range of 30 feet. If you're rolling a living creature, increase the hit points restored by 8.
It is heightened.
Yeah, level 2. And that +1, the amount of healing or damage increases by D8. But in your case, it's a D10, right? You're looking at D10s, not D8s. Right?
Yeah.
So you'd roll 2D10 plus 8. That wouldn't change, I don't think. So that's plus 8.
But it's supposed to be plus 16.
That's
why it says 2 times 8, because it's heightened, and it gets another increase of 8 since it's a 2-action.
Oh. Wow. All right. So do you want to take the 25 or make it...
Sorry. I guess if you click and drag, it rolls it, and that was an accidental. I'm trying to select 10, but I did 8.
Still haven't figured that freaking D10 out.
I know. I feel like it's set for some, but not all. Because that was from my divine font, not from my spell list.
If you want to roll...
So I have 2d10 plus 6. I'm going to re-roll it.
Okay.
That's all right. I'll take the 24.
All right, he's got to make a freaking save here. He is undead. Obviously. He's got a DC 20 fortitude save against how much damage?
24.
You going with 24? Okay. And it's just a failure. So he's going to take full 24 points of damage. Ow! Positive energy flows in this abomination. I keep saying that word. Flows through this creature. And it reels back Althea. And stutters its motion to hit you. And that took you 2 actions.
And with my last action, I will try to retreat with Elara.
All right, so you're going to be moving at half rate, but you're going to have to make a athletics check and I'll do the DC. It's going to be tough.
It's a good thing I don't carry too much on me. But also pretty bad because my athletics is a -1.
Mhm. It's worth the try.
I got a
4.
4.
That's a critical failure. You don't get any headway on this. She does not budge. So you remain grabbing her, but you don't get anywhere. You're still where you're at. If you would like to move 5 feet to shift your posture, shift your position, I'll let you do that. Like, for instance, move a square towards Sheppy. As long as you're adjacent to Alara and you only move 1 square, I'll let you shift, and you're still grabbing her. If you want to do that. Don't jump on top of her or anything, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to get out of this guy's way, but I don't want him to target Alara either. And I don't want to be in Sheppy's way. I don't know.
Like right there would be a 5-foot shift I'd let you have. I'd let you do that or not. It's up to you. Or the other direction at Alara's feet. If you wanted to go there, I'll let you do that.
Well, if I'm at her feet, then there's a table between us.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Slip under the table, get a little cover.
And she'll also scream out to Sheppy, because she sees him right in the corner. Help!
Is that all you say?
I'm trying to get her out of here.
Okay, Laura, you're up next. Now, the persistent damage has been gnawing at you from this original attack. You've not recovered from it. And it will kick into gear one more time because you have not stopped it. You're bleeding out badly, rapidly. You're going to have one more chance to recover. If you fail this, you're going to be dying 4. And the only thing that can save her at this point is very powerful magic. We'll leave it at that. If you make it, fantastic. You have to roll a D20. You need to roll a 13 or greater.
Okay.
There is no hero points here. So whatever you roll, this is it. Take a deep breath and give it a roll.
Well,
What?
question: When that guy attacked me, did he make the will roll?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Who attacked you?
If you want to do that roll, I can wait.
Well, the undead guy came in the room. He didn't attack you.
He didn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
no.
for next time.
Okay.
He spent all his actions coming into the room and looking bad and mean. He's
Drum
upset.
roll.
Ugh.
9. All right. That's okay. You're dying 4. And everything goes black. Your breathing ceases.
You don't happen to have Die Hard, do you? I'll take that as a no.
Don't think I do.
All right. We're going to move on to Althea. Or no, we're going to move on to Sheppy. It'll probably give you damage again, I think. When I move to Sheppy. Just ignore that. Yeah, it did.
All right. Sheppy's going to move his flaming sphere into the undead creature square. 25 feet.
All right, you can go under the table. Do you have to be in sight of it at all times? Yeah, actually, you can see it from. Well, yeah, you could see it from the between the legs of the chairs and the tables. Yeah, you can do it without going through Arthurian Square. Okay. All right, he's got to make a save. Go ahead and roll your damage. Or no, I just make a save. It's not a basic save. Okay. Let's make that roll.
$13.
Failure. He failed. Normal fail. What does that do? 13 damage. He rolled a 13 save.
13. Yeah, I got confused there.
So did I. All right, so he takes 13 damage. Let's see what happens. Let me check his sheet here. Okay, so yeah, he catches on fire. The armor begins to singe. He begins to blacken before it dissipates. You did hit him, so he took some damage there. He is looking bad. Near death once again, perhaps we could say. Okay. So you're
All
done.
right. No, I'm not done.
All right,
So it was only one
sustained.
action.
That was sustained. Okay, I guess that's how it works. Okay.
We're gonna hit him with a first level burning hands. How do you
Althea,
handle this thing?
Rachel, number 1. Can you look up the sustain action? It's in the spells section. Look that up. I'm curious how the timing of this works. Like when he sustains it, and then the spell that it has to be the spell he just cast, which he did. He can cast sustain to keep it going. Does that resolve without any other actions? It just the spell effect resolves with sustain. There's no other actions for the spell or anything else. Just sustain allows that spell, in this case, to move and do damage. Just kind of read that a little bit.
Well, right off the bat, it just says the duration of the spell continues until the end of your next turn. It says some spells might have slightly different or expanded effects if you sustain them. So it's likely the answer you're looking for is probably in the text of the spell.
Yeah. All right, let me look real quick since it's here. Just going to roll to another square that does 3d6 damage. Each square creatures succeed. Okay. On subsequent rounds, the first time you sustain this spell, you can leave the sphere in its square or roll it to another square within range. Deals 3d6 damage, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so we're doing it right. It's all right there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what happens with the sustain, one action. So you get those 2 actions to do your next thing, which is produce flame.
Yeah, I messed up the template. I can hit him. I'm not hitting anyone else.
Yeah, you could.
Make a DC 20. Reflex.
Can you get rid of that template for me?
No.
Failure. It's just a normal failure. Basic save, so roll your damage. He will take whatever you roll.
10 points.
10 points. Let's see what happens to Marshal's.
To our old friend.
Yes, once again. The fires are just engulfing this former friend of yours. He's still standing, but it looks pretty dire for this dire creature of sorts. He's on his last legs once again. Sheppy, you're done.
Yep.
Arthurian.
Get him, Arthurian.
Roar! He turns around and sees this creature that has entered the fray for the first time. He pauses. That's Marshal. He's going to lose an action. But he's going to spend his other 2 actions to advance towards it. He shakes itself free, and he gets 1 attack. He's going to have one attack as he lays into this abomination. Once again, I'll use that word. I love it. Battle axe of death on this creature. He gets a 17. Just missing. I don't think he has a hero point. No. All right, he's done. We're going to go to the next round. He's still standing. This is round 6, I believe. And this is where our old friend Marshal gets a chance to finally swing at Althea, who disappeared. He's distracted, however, and he turns to Arthurian. You vile little toad. You will die next as well. And his sword comes at Arthurian. And it misses. But he's going to attack relentlessly a second time. As Arthurian attempts to dodge the blows or block them with his big axe. However, he fails with the second attempt, and Arthurian feels the pain of this blade. There's a sickening wet sound with the sliding of metal on metal as the blade pulls from the torso of Arthurian through the armor. It's going to do normal damage. Arthurian is going to take 11 points of nasty slashing damage, we'll call it. And he reels backwards from the blow, still gripping his axe tightly. He is done. Althea, you're up. The dwarf shrugs it off. Let me get that damn template out of here. What you do, Jesse, is click on your templates, hover your mouse over it, and you can just hit the delete key. I did it for you. Okay, Althea, you're up. We'll take a break after this combat, assuming everybody survives.
I'm going to cast Moonbeam. It's a 2-action focus spell.
You got the points. 19. I can't read. You shine a ray of moonlight that pierces the room. Out of nowhere it appears. Make a spell attack roll, which you did. The beam of light deals 1d6 fire damage, singeing the brains of those around. Moonbeam deals silver damage for the purposes of weaknesses, resistances, and the like. That's pretty powerful. All right, so you did so. You made your attack. You got a 19. His armor class is an 18. You hit him. You're going to roll damage. Six points.
So that's, yep, just 6 points.
Okay. You need to describe for me how this beam penetrates the mind, the body of your former friend Marshal. Because it finishes him off.
Well, with one of her hands, it's just completely occupied trying to hold Alara up, trying to get away. And there's already this bright light coming from her light spell, but it just seems to grow brighter and brighter until like this beam actually comes out, directed towards old friend. Marshal. and it just fills his whole armor with light, and it's just kind of cast from every like open area, and then it's just gone.
And the light does just that. This glowing blue energy. It starts off blue. It penetrates and disappears for a second, and then suddenly it begins to expand from beneath the armor itself. And with a flash, boom, it disappears, and the armor, the body, what was the body, crumples immediately to the floor with a crash. And then silence returns once again to the companions, only the heavy breathing of the dwarf. And the gnome remains. And you all take pause in this silence. Althea, you look over at the body of Alara. She seems lifeless. She's whiter than even she was before. It's ghastly looking. You feel no warmth from her hand. Her stomach does not rise anymore. Sheppy, you peek into the room, and you see this scene of death. The burning embers of your flames and your fires have died down now. Only the light of Althea shines. You see Marshal's crumpled body, what's left of it, the armor that he wore, his pack, his equipment, all lays there in this pile. And Arthurian standing with his hands continuously gripped on this axe, catching his breath. And with that, we're going to take our first intermission. Or we're going to take our intermission. And we'll talk about this. Okay? So, folks, stay tuned. We got part 2 coming up shortly. And we're going to take a little 5 to 10 minute break. So hang in there, because we're going to be back. Okay, here we are once again. It was pretty exciting, that first half there. But we'll get into that in a bit. For now, we're going to continue with part 2 to tonight's session, episode 40. Fantastic stuff. Great role playing. Yeah, so let's get back into this. All right, you just fought and defeated Volok. His body lies crumpled at the southern door in this chamber. You've also defeated what can only be described as some type of white Marshal, whose crumpled body lies between you, Althea, and Sheppy. Now, Alara, Dizzy, you're going to be taking control of Arthurian for the rest of this session, so you can roll some dice at your leisure. I'll role play as needed. You can also do so. But in the interim, this is the situation. Sheppy has arrived, perhaps to save the day, maybe, shooting fireballs as usual. And you've all managed to defeat Volok, or who you think is Volok, and this white. What do you do?
Althea, bittersweet wind, but we killed him, finally.
Somewhere in here there's a victory, but I fear there's a greater loss. And she's reminded of Marshal by seeing his body and then seeing their new companion motionless on the ground. Before I forget, I have to tell you, did you see Bullock as he perished? Did you see what was written? I saw the word await, but there was other things, but I couldn't tell. Did either of you see it?
You saw letters forming, Sheppy, but you didn't catch any words.
What was that?
You saw words forming, but you were too preoccupied. You didn't see what any of those words meant or said or anything. But you did see it.
I saw it, but I couldn't make it out.
I wonder if this was to intimidate us or if it was some sort of warning for what's ahead.
I know one thing, it distracted the Volok, for a round at least.
Yes.
6 seconds. So the body of Marshal lies before you. Backpack on his back, weapons all over the place. What do you do?
I'm going to check out Volok's body, see if I can find anything that might prove that we killed him, that we could take back with us.
I meant Marshal. All right, so you're looking... Yes?
Well, with Marshal... Well, first off, I'm going to call back Benley. I didn't abandon you, buddy. Come back. Follow the sound of my voice.
Can you get him?
Oh, game's paused. There he comes. But after he arrives and I know he's safe, then I'm going to take a look at Marshal's body and just giving him last rites and saying a little prayer.
Okay. Everybody gets a hero point for that. Give yourself 1 hero point, including you, Arthurian. Not Benley. He was a bad mouse. He didn't take part in the fight. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this visible for you, Althea. big old chest. That's all the stuff that currently Marshal has on his body. That's a lot of goods. You can divvy that up amongst you.
Jeez Louise.
Also, the body of Alara. If you want to pillage through that too, Alara, I'll bring your character on the table. And I'll drag that to the chest as well. I guess. It depends on what you guys want to do with Alara's stuff. But start
I
with...
think we would look through it and maybe take some things, like, especially if it's like a personal item or some sort of indication of like who she is. This way we can go send news back to family and friends.
Oh Lord.
But if she has nothing on her to kind of identify her, then we don't know. But so far we've had a habit of bringing people back with us to Otari.
Mm-hmm.
If we find a body. And have the time. Anyways, Marshal, may you rest in peace and rejoice that you have joined your son. I will take, I would take joy in knowing that you've been reunited.
So what I'll do is I'll drag some more items over to this chest. Let me see if that goes over there. Let me mystify it. And you guys can do with this what you want. You could leave it here. In which case, leave it in the chest. And it'll be assumed to be with the bodies. You could make a little note.
Yeah, make sure to give Arthurian that +1 warhammer. And possibly the crowbar if he doesn't already have one, and repair kit. Just because he really could probably use those.
But it's a lot of stuff, so I recommend just, if something stands out, grab it for now, but just leave it. Unless you want to be encumbered. This is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know
It
how
is
to
a lot
put
of
it,
stuff.
but
So whatever's left, I'll work with it. And... Come on, caltrops. I moved you like 3 times. Oh, there's 3 of them. 2 of them. I love caltrops.
Yeah, I gave mine to Althea.
You did. I still have them. We can use them whenever you want.
Yeah, well,
Okay, so there's like a ton of silver pieces. Like, I mean a ton.
you can have them. I took the gold.
You could sell all this stuff. Cripes.
Yeah, but we can't carry it all.
No. There's something on your character sheet, Jesse. On page 1. Go to page 1 of your character sheet.
Okay.
And look towards the middle. It says something there about your bulk. And it's a green number. I think it says 2.
That's from feet I have.
It's from, oh, is that what it is?
Hefty hauler.
No.
Increases my bulk limit by 2.
Ah, that's what it is. Because I was looking at that, trying to make it 0, make it go away. What the hell is this? Get out of here. I didn't know what it was. It's got to be a feat. This feels so cold. Looting Alara's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it.
That's what we're doing.
If anything,
Well, she's here.
the next person we meet could totally use these things.
Yeah, right?
I'm sure with the way she acted and kind of tried to hold back, to hold the door and hold the line, she would want us to take these items so we ourselves could survive and take down whoever is in control here.
All right, that's it. That's everything. 2 backpacks full of standard gear, multiple caltrops, sling bullets, hatchets, whatever's left. You guys did take quite a bit. The armor, there was armor in there. Now, oh yes, there's one more thing. Marshal carried an axe. The axe is not on him.
I think he dropped it in the room. When then we ran.
And Arthurian, you could grab stuff there too. That might be useful for him. Who took the armor?
Not me.
He did have armor.
I don't see it on.
If it wasn't identified, I don't have anything listed in my armor other than my own. But I took a bunch of unusual objects to look at later.
Oh, wait a minute. I know where they are. I know what I did. Yeah, I got to put them on here. There is a couple more things to put on that. Let's see, the long sword, that's on there, but this is also there, as is this. So, steel shield and chainmail armor. Of course, if you want to replace your armor, Arthurian, you just drag your current armor over to this chest. Yeah, it's almost like a video game in a way. And pull the armor over to your character sheet, if you know what I mean. Chainmail is pretty good. Steel shield, all that. But no rush. I see 2 chainmails now. No rush. You can leave it here and go with what you got. Add encumbered. Now, anything that's mystified, in other words, it's unusual weapon or whatever, Alara or Dizzy, That means they have to be identified. Anybody can identify something. Use one of the traditions of magic, like occult or divine or arcane, to make a skill check to identify it. And if you're really good with the roll, you'll know exactly what it is. Or you might just know little bits and pieces of it or nothing at all. It takes time to do that. Wizards and those in the arcane are really good at it. Or any of the magic traditions, really, are good at identifying stuff. That's something you do with a skill.
So once we've kind of separated the items from the deceased, I'd like to move the bodies into the room that had the wine, which I believe was this one over here.
The one in the top northeast?
Yes.
I think so. And one more thing, Dizzy, you are currently encumbered.
Okay.
So your movement's going to be really slow. You're encumbered at 7 bulk. You currently have 9. So you might want to
Alright.
drag stuff back.
You might want to drop that armor. I don't think you need it.
I think he already had chain.
Yeah.
Let me make sure he's wearing it for his armor. Yeah. So it'll add to his armor class. Held. Well, he's got a shield on his back. I don't know if he wants to hold it. He likes his axe. Yeah, because if you're encumbered, that'll slow you down, do some other nastiness. It's a condition. You have to manually keep track of that, as far as I know. And just give yourself the encumbered condition. Your bulk, by the way, is at the bottom of your inventory sheet. It tells you where you're at and when you're encumbered. Like for you, it's 12. That's your max. You're encumbered at 7. And you currently are carrying 8 bulk and 1 light. The light can be ignored. But you need to lose 1 more bulk. And look at all the coins. Awesome. Arthurian's got a lot of weapons. Bottled lightning. Okay, while you do that, you guys done with this for now?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay,
Me too.
all right.
I guess I'm good for now.
Okay. Did you bring your bulk down to 7?
I think it's still at 8.
Yeah. Just drop something off. Otherwise, you're going to be encumbered. Which basically is you're clumsy 1, and you take a minus 10-foot penalty to your speed for all your speeds, if you have special speeds, like swim and things like that. But you'll suffer a minus 1 to dex-based rolls and DCs for being clumsy, and a minus 10 to your speed. That's the penalty for encumbered. So I don't know if you want to have that.
Alright, looks like I'm showing it 7 and 9 light.
I think that lights are ignored until they reach 10.
So it's showing them at 7.
All right, that's good enough. Okay. All right, you saw the green wisp once again. You've gone through the bodies and what's on them. Volek.
Yeah, I was checking that out.
Yeah. Let me pin the books. For some reason, they weren't showing on my map. Let me open that up. Nope, wrong one. Got to go in the other room.
Alright, so while Sheppy looks at that, that's when I'm moving the bodies, just slowly and taking my time. And gently, of course.
Right. Maybe clearing off the table and laying the bodies kind of in a resting. Well, the body, not the bodies. Well, yeah, I guess you would do that with Marshal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she just wants to put them out of sight in case somebody tries to come by and abuse their bodies in a way of turning them undead, or with Marshall maybe reviving him somehow. She doesn't want to take any chances and wants to tuck them away, lock the door, and then come back later to give them a proper burial.
Volok himself, there's nothing on him. He has no weapons. It's disgusting to poke around on this Sheppy. You've never seen anything like it. It's horrifying. Give me a fortitude save. Can be public.
Okay. 13.
You start retching. You start, just all of a sudden, you vomit all over the floor around the area. You feel bad. You're sickened one. Althea, you hear this, and you turn abruptly, and suddenly the smell, it hits you. Vomit. Raw vomit mixed in with all this death. I need you to make a fortitude save.
Was this public or blind?
Public, because it's fun. It's even more fun when I tell you the DC. 15.
Did I get the
15.
same thing?
15. You begin to
Wow.
retch. All of a sudden.
I have a +2. I have a +2 circumstance bonus on being sickened because I'm an iron gut goblin.
Ooh.
Except this time you forgot about it. You weren't so iron guts after all. You're puking all over the place.
Oh,
Althea?
wait. I have something too. I can hold my
Come on.
breath. I have breath control.
All right, hold your breath.
I can hold my breath 25 times as long as usual.
All right, you avoid.
And I get a +1 bonus to inhaled threats and stuff like that, but I guess even that wouldn't have helped me out entirely.
All right, so you scored a
Anyways.
14. You hold your breath. It doesn't do you any good. You explode with vomit all over the place. Arthurian, it gets all over you. Your half-shaved beard is covered with Althea's lunch. You need to make
I'm
a
sorry.
fortitude save. You're good at this, dwarf. Fortitude save. Your DC is 15.
He just grew that back too because I burned half of it off.
It's covered. 18. He holds his own. He almost gives ho, but nope. He swallows it back down with pride. All right, so that little episode. Althea, you're sickened one. That'll go when I say. And Arthurian, you have no sickened condition. You're pretty good. You're a hardy one. Okay? And you don't find anything on Volok's body other than his clothes and this just shriveled mess. It's like jello at this stage. It's not moving unless you bump it. And
Alright.
that's
I'm
about
gonna
it.
check out that desk
Where's
straight ahead.
there a desk? In the other room? Are you looking in the other room?
Yeah.
All right, you're not in the room currently. You want to enter the room.
Yeah.
All right, Althea, once you contain yourself, you see Sheppy disappear down in the south inside that chamber. What do you do? And you as well, Arthurn, what do you do? Sheppy has disappeared into the chamber below. Do you follow him or do you remain in this chamber?
You can go ahead, Thurian. Dizzy.
Arthurian's gonna go before Althea.
Are you going into the chamber as well, Arthurian?
Mm-hmm.
And Althea, you're following behind, or are you going to stay behind at the bodies? I just want to know where you are.
She will be honestly still with the bodies if it's not done already.
Okay, I'll unpause it if anyone wants to move. Now, I think I read this before. I'll read it again. The walls of this large chamber, are hung with grisly paintings depicting various spectral beings cavorting among ruined neighborhoods, overgrown swamps, and foggy graveyards. 3 large overstuffed chairs pair with small end tables, upon which sit empty wine glasses. To the south, in front of you, Sheppy, the far wall, stands a cluttered writing desk with its own chair, now empty. A large iron tub to the west, your right, is also visible between standing screens depicting shadowy marshes. It's grim, this room, this chamber. This is where you first encountered Volok. Volok Azenray. It's now dark, lifeless. You see no motion. What would you like to do, Sheppy?
I am going to search this desk.
Okay, move yourself to the desk in concern. All right, give me a perception check, blind. Arthurian, what are you doing at this stage while Sheppy rushes forward, searching that desk? I'll assume you move into the chamber at least a little bit. And Althea, you can also make a blind perception check as you're remaining behind in this silent chamber.
All right, now, what is it you want Arthurian to do again? Sorry, you kind of cut out for a second.
What is Arthurian doing? Whatever you want him to do. You just entered the chamber a little bit, so you can see. So if you'd like to search some of the parts of the room, you can do so. There is a... no, there isn't. There's the desk where Sheppy's at. There's a big tub along the western wall, which is your right, Arthurian's right. Doesn't seem to be any exits that you can see. A lot of chairs and tables. And tapestries.
Arthurian's gonna move over to one of the tapestries and start looking it over.
Okay, move you over here. If you want, you can give me a blind perception roll. Althea, you hear a hum. You can't tell what direction it's coming from. Above, below, behind you, up the steps, you're not sure, but there's a strange low hum. And almost a vibration in the stone floor as well. You can feel something. It's very low, however.
Once I have the bodies put away, I'm gonna head south to towards where I can see Sheppy.
Okay, you can do that. Move yourself down. Now,
And I'm also going to
take care.
interact with my gloves.
Okay. Don't forget your dog. It's
My
almost.
dog.
It's almost 10.
Oh yeah. Well, I got 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just heal the 2d6 plus 7 hit points, which is the effect of the gloves.
Okay.
Do I know what time of day it is? Because this is once per day kind of thing.
You just arrived here. It hasn't, not much time has gone by, maybe an hour. So when you left, it was about afternoon, maybe early afternoon. So yeah, you can look at the clock if you want.
Okay.
I haven't forwarded the time, but an hour has passed. You can look at the clock. Binley. 12 points.
There we go. I just marked a note saying that I used them.
The tapestries, the paintings, rather, and the cloth tapestries, Arthurian. You haven't seen anything like this. They're very fancy. But the images they portray are quite grim. Sickening. People being slaughtered by monstrous beings. You see images of swamps and marshes in a lot of these scenes. Skulls. Careful examination of the corners of several of these particular paintings, you can see similar designs of tentacles are weaved in the wood frame. At each corner you see another skull. It's very unsettling. Graveyards, death, bodies. Sheppy, the table is covered with papers. Whoever was working at this desk, Volok, was hard at work indeed. Books, some missing whole sections of papers. You see them crumpled, scattered around.
What is the bronze thing that's on the table?
That's a bronze thing.
Is anything emanating magic? Because I have my magic up.
Let me finish. You just made
Okay.
a perception check to search this. I'm going to tell you exactly what you find.
Okay.
Mixed into these papers and notes and crumpled writings, you see what looks like blueprints. Something you're familiar with, construction of things. Looking closely at them, you can see that they show familiar areas you've passed through. They show areas of the upper levels of the gauntlight, in fact. You recognize this chamber here, yes, that's that big circular room that pulsed with blue energy and the carcass of a dead worm. You see that, you recognize that. You see shafts. You see secret doors, passages. You recognize one room where you do not remember that secret door. Something you missed. These blueprints are showing you the upper levels, the 3 upper levels above you. You recognize them.
Okay. So they're like maps of the first 3 levels.
Mm-hmm. You also see, amidst all these papers, several scroll tubes underneath some papers. They're not locked, but they're obviously scroll tubes. They protect scrolls. The metal thing that you were looking at looks like some type of lantern. It's not currently lit, but it sits on the desk.
Might be useful.
And by the way, I should also mention that I'll assume you're still doing the detect magic thing. You definitely sense magic you've never experienced before. Some of it could be from Alara. You don't know what she could have had. But as you entered this chamber, you continue to feel it. Now, she's well away from you. She might be beyond 30 feet. But you still sense the presence of new magic somewhere, as deep as you are in this chamber currently. So there is that.
All right. I will take the 3 scrolls and the lantern. Put them in my inventory.
Okay, 1 second here. Let me, okay. Let me open your character sheet. Are you already open somewhere? Okay, I'll drag that to your character sheet. The scrolls as well, the scroll cases, I should say. And there's definitely something within them. They have some weight to them. You can open
Check
them if
them
you
out.
want.
I'll check them out later.
Okay. Okay, just make a note. You have three scrolls. I'll do likewise. 3 scroll cases, which weigh nothing in terms of encumbrance, so don't worry about that. Okay. And you have that lamp. I think the lamp I dragged to your thing here. I don't see it. Let me try it again.
I don't see it. I got it noted.
Yeah, I don't see it either. All right, so I'll make it note as well. All right. Okay, so that's what you find. Nothing else stands out on this desk. Again, I do mention that you did find blueprints that detail all the essentially maps of the upper 3 levels above you. You recognize them.
I'll take them too.
All right, make a note that you have those maps. They might come in handy. Now, Althea, you just entered the chamber. Yeah. Arthurian, you don't really see anything else other than just those grisly images I described to you. If you'd like to do a more thorough search of the room, you can do so. It'll take some time, but that's worthy of a perception check blind if you'd like to do that. Althea, you also have the option of doing so. Since it's going to take time to do that. While Sheppy's searching the desk. Still.
No, she'll just come running in. She'll actually close the door behind her and just inform the others. I heard humming. Everybody keep it down. Quiet. And then she'll wait at the door and listen while everyone else kind of does their thing.
Okay, Arthurian, if you'd like to make a blind perception roll, if you want to search the room, you can do so. Or something specific. While Sheppy goes through the papers still. It's up to you.
Remembering back to the one room that had the secret entrance, he makes his way over to the shallow tub and reaches inside, starting to press his hands against the walls of the tub to try and see if maybe there's like a hidden switch or something inside of it. And you said blind perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, Jesse, I make this really easy for you. I'm going to drag those items to your sheet now.
Okay.
Including the blueprints. All right, so Sheppy, if you look at your sheet, you'll see all that stuff, the 3 scroll tubes. You'll also see the blueprints, and you'll also see that lantern are now on your sheet, okay?
Okay, I see him.
All right, now let's get back to Arthurian. Okay, what exactly were you doing again? Sorry.
So he went over to the empty tub, and bending over, he places his hands inside of the tub and starts pressing his hands against the walls, trying to see if there's possibly like a switch or a hidden lever that might possibly help them in some sort of way.
All right, you do so. It's empty. It's also metallic. It doesn't give. It's very sturdy, like as if there's some kind of stone surrounding it. It's like a metal interior. It just doesn't give at all. You don't feel any switches, no impurities at all. It looks like it's hardly ever been used, actually. No switches. And yes. All right. Let me mark off some time here because we're doing some things.
Okay.
You don't seem to discover anything else.
Gotcha. That'll be the end of Arthurian's turn.
Okay. Okay, so you're in this chamber. You've thoroughly investigated. Sheppy, you've found some stuff. Whether or not you reveal your finds to your friends is up to you. Althea seems to be hovering in the back watching all this. She did reveal, there was strange humming behind us. But she since closed the door. Arthurian, your investigation on the paintings revealed nothing except unusual dark things like skulls, but nothing unusual. Same thing with the tub, the basin over here. Nothing, just no switches. Nothing unusual. Just that it hasn't seemed to have been used.
Sheppy's going to see if the paintings come off the walls.
All right,
He'll start with
all right, give me
this
another.
one.
Give me another blind perception roll. Just one. One more. Now you pull it off the wall, almost falls apart, in fact. And some of the others are more sturdy, but again, nothing unusual in the wall or anywhere else. Paintings do look pretty grisly, though. Nasty.
How about the rug? Does it lift up?
Yeah, you could roll it up and take it with you if you wanted to. Looks pretty
I
dirty.
don't want it. I just want to see if it's hiding anything.
Take it. It's just a rug. If you want to search the entire floor for secret doors, you can do that. But keep in mind, Sheppy, you have the worst wisdom perception of all the characters. Althea's probably got the best wisdom of everybody, but she's sitting back there with the mouse, petting him. Can't be bothered. She's keeping her eyes open. She did recognize the humming and vibrating, but she's not really paying attention to this chamber. Unless Althea'd like to make a little casual glance around the room. That's up to you.
I'll take the hint and take a casual glance around the room.
Chappie's like, "Hey, a little help might help,
I'm watching the door. I don't know if you heard me, but there's something going on.
Before he gets to the rug, he's looking at these paintings on the wall. And he pulls this one fragile one off the wall, and it almost falls apart. But you notice something. Keen eyesight of a gnome. Something catches your eye, Althea. As soon as I open up the book here again. Something catches your eye. One of the pictures, next to the one that fell apart, seems almost alive. You swear something moved in the picture. And as you look cautiously at it, you hear a scream. A human scream in terror. You look at Chapt. He doesn't respond. He seems too preoccupied looking at the broken painting the almost broken painting. Arthurian's busy tapping on the insides of a tub. But you hear from this one painting sounds of screams. What do?
I jump back, startled.
You jump back, startled.
Yes, and I pointed out. Did everybody else hear that?
No.
No?
What's wrong?
How are you all standing still? Look at it. And I pointed out.
Chapt, she's pointing to one picture that you haven't looked at.
Is it moving?
You look at it. It seems pretty solid on the wall, however. As you go to look behind it, it seems to be on a hinge. You pull from the right side, and just like a door, it reveals behind it what looks like a latch to a door. And as you look carefully now, you can indeed see what looks like the outline of a door behind this painting. Not a small door, but one that goes to the floor. This is a portal.
I'm going to call Arthurian over to take a look at it.
You can move.
Arthur, are you able to come over and take a look at it?
Looks like a door. Wait.
Okay. Well, that's over here.
Where is it over here?
Oh.
Whee! Careful. Yeah, it's in the east wall. There is a door there. The outline of a door. It was hidden behind this picture, which has a hinge on it, and it opens inward to the left. The painting itself It looks like an extremely lifelike graveyard scene. Althea, you swear something moved, something wispy moved in this picture, but you also heard that scream. It seemed to be emanating from this painting. But now as you draw closer and get a glimpse behind, you see there's actually more to it. There's a door here. Perhaps the sound came from beyond there. Perhaps not.
Arthurian, Sheppy, help me take this picture frame off, or however it would appear that this door opens.
The door itself has a latch. It's inside the
Okay.
wall. You can reach in, and it looks like you can pull it outward. And possibly pull
That's why
the
I
door.
called Arthurian over to maybe open it and see.
Do you do so, Arthurian? Do you reach in and pull the latch, Arthurian?
He would first draw one of his axes. Well, not his axes, but one of his hatches. And then
One of his many weapons.
One of his many, many, many weapons.
one of his many, many weapons, and tell everybody to get behind him as he prepares to step through the door.
We wait patiently. Be careful, Arthurian. I heard screaming.
Okay, so it opens. You can see inside this little alcove. It's about 5 foot square. Let me look at something here.
That was underwhelming.
Just a small little alcove. Looks inviting.
Any new magics coming from it?
Oh, you sense magic. On the far side of this 5 foot square chamber, you see a very similar door. It's obviously a door. Only this time the latch, similar design, is not actually inside the door, but is actually outside of it. So it's not hidden. It's very obvious that it's something you pull and it's a door. And it's 5 feet in front of you. Otherwise, just natural stone. It looks like a little hallway leading to another door along the east wall in front of you, Arthurian.
Arthurian is going to, before he takes a step inside, he's actually going to take the hatchet that he carries in his hand and try and wedge it into the door so it stays open and doesn't accidentally close behind them.
Okay. You could prop something behind the door and it'll stay open.
Okay.
Maybe that's fair.
There is another door ahead of you. Do you enter?
Arthurian, as steadfast as always, is going to tell everybody to prepare themselves as they don't know what could possibly happen, and he's going to step inside.
You step inside. Do you pull the latch? Do you listen
He
at the
does
door?
indeed.
Do you want to listen at it first? You can do that too. You can also smell at the door. You can do anything you want.
Smells dead.
I,
He is going to step inside. Once he steps inside, He's going to try and strain his hearing to see if he can hear anything.
Okay, blind perception roll.
'Kay.
Anyone else hearing can also do so, even though you're a little bit away from the door. You can still make blind perception rolls if you like. You hear a strange humming, Arthurian, from beyond this portal. Also, you notice that the door itself seems to be very tight. There's no cracks underneath or around the sides. There's no keyholes. There's no way to look beyond. It is very solid, much like as if it was some type of secret door meant to be hidden. From the other side, perhaps. For there's a latch right in front of you, obviously. A latch that can be pulled. It doesn't seem like there's any locks on it. Do you give it a pull?
Is there any way possible that Althea and Chapt might be able to fit into the same room as he is?
Yeah, you could. You'd all be flat-footed. You could all squish in there and it'd be extremely tight. Althea could stand on Arthurian's head. Wouldn't be so bad. No, Sheppy's small too. You could all stand on Arthurian's head. Yeah, you could, but you'd all be flat-footed.
All right, Sheppy's going to jump on his shoulders. What do you want? What?
Arthurian's gonna look at Althea and go, "You coming, lassie? We ain't going without you."
There you go. I should give you an extra hero point for that. It's almost the end of the session, though. It won't do you no good.
She takes one step closer. What's the structural integrity of this room?
So you're all going to cram in this little booth,
She
essentially.
ushers Binley in there too, and he's at the top,
All right. What a scene.
All
What a
right, what
scene.
now?
sniffing the ceiling.
Alright, so once everybody is in there, he's gonna turn and
And
give
leave.
the latch a tug.
Okay. The walls of this circular chamber look smooth and gray. A flickering, nauseating ribbon of pale blue light churns in the center of the room, Arthurian. Althea. Sheppy. Where the light touches the ceiling above, the stone bubbles as if it were infected flesh. Grisly. Below, the light bathes a screaming, thrashing dwarf bound onto a metal table, his body covered in blisters. Suddenly, rising from underneath the table, you see a wispy shape, glowing. It appears. You see the formation at the head of this glow. A skull, eyes, mouth, and a scream. And it comes towards you, this green wisp. This is not what you saw earlier. This is something more vile, something more dark. As a body sits on this table, writhing. We will roll initiative in the next session. Can you all
Oh boy.
can you all see this? I'll bring everybody in a little bit.
Oh, come on, don't leave us on a cliffhanger.
Cliffhangers are my specialty. I'll bring y'all in so you can see this clearly. You might even hear a change in music, ambience.
Kyle's gonna be happy about this.
And this is where we're going to leave it. So, strapped to this table, you see this dwarf, and he's cut. He's got wounds all over his body, and he's writhing. None of you can recognize him. It's impossible to recognize him. He looks like he's been tortured relentlessly. But you do see this large, glowing entity just appear from underneath and now next to him. And its big skull-shaped face is looking right at you, and it looks like it's about to dive to attack with a horrendous scream. Now, you're all clutched together inside of this little 5-foot cubicle, standing on top of each other when we roll initiative. Like I said, you will all be flat-footed when we start the combat. But we'll get to that in the next session. So, this is something new. You also hear that hum. All right, so that'll end our session. Okay?
Round rooms are bad news in the Abomination Ball.
It seems that way.
They always have been.
Well, we'll find out. What, next week?
If you want next week, it depends if Kyle's going to be free or not. He is kind of busy. I'll run these every week if you want, but I want Kyle to play too, so.
Yeah, that is kind of Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, is it? Yikes. That doesn't matter. I'll be here to play. Save the turkey. All right. All right, what do you guys think? You enjoy that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's do our outros and we'll end the session for the night. I had fun. That was good. Strange turn at the end here. The unexpected. We also remember we had a character death tonight. Wow, I almost forgot. Awesome.
Already?
Almost. Almost.
It happens so often.
Yeah, but they do, actually. That's number 6. 6 characters dead in a year.
Jeez, already number 6?
Yeah, about a year. You guys only gained 1 level. What's going on?
I don't know. It's slow going all of a sudden.
Yeah, this was brutal. But you did make up for it. You got some experience points tonight for taking out some big baddies, so that'll be good. And forwarding the story. All right, folks, we're going to end it here. We're going to do our outros, and we'll be back again for episode 41. So let's do outros. Althea, you're first. What'd you think?
I had a good time. Kind of wish it ended a little bit differently, but that cannot be helped. Sometimes the dice is just definitely not with you. Or in Sheppy's case, it definitely was with the flaming sphere. But I had a good time tonight, and I'm excited to see what happens next time with these characters.
This motley crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to see if we have a new person coming along.
Yeah, we'll probably never see Dizzy again. She died in her first real adventure. Gone. I'm out of here. See ya.
No.
She'll be back. Alara, what do you think? Dizzy, I should say.
It was well. It was, as much as I regret the death, I still go with believing that if she hadn't sacrificed herself, I don't think the group would have gotten this far. If anything, probably more than half the group would have been downed. So, I'm happy with the result. I'm sad about the death. I'm excited about the cliffhanger, though it's gonna drive me nuts until next week.
You should see that image on the screen now of what exactly is rushing towards you.
Quite creepy.
How about you, Jesse? What'd you think? The session? Your outro and all that good stuff?
Hey, you guys had a great time. Thanks for the story that you're putting on there. Been fun. We had a little rough go there, but we always come out in the end, don't we? I guess. But yeah, next session's going to be interesting, I'm sure. As always, to arms, my friends, and see you next week.
Yep. Keep pushing the story forward. That's what it's all about. All right, folks. We're going to call it here. Thanks for watching, you guys that are in that viewing stand there. We'll be back again next week for sure. Holidays or not, I will. And we'll see what happens. Yeah. So, folks, that'll do it for tonight. You guys hang in there. It's only going to get better. Talk to you soon.